Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're going to review Super Card of Honor 15 from 2022. Let's jump right into with the pre-show matches. Before we do that, actually, we grade everything here on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. First match of the evening, we get Colt Cabana versus Blake Christian. Colt Cabana gets a hero's welcome. He's a Ring of Honor legend. And, you know, this is WrestleMania weekend, so the fans that are there know of his exploits in Ring of Honor, know about him. Blake Christian, one of the best young wrestlers in the world right now. I really enjoy what he's been doing, especially in GCW. I think he's a great wrestler. He's done some good stuff with New Japan Strong as well. Colt picks up the win here. I'm going to give this match a solid 3. I thought it was a good opener, a good feel-good moment for the longtime Ring of Honor fans to see one of their guys go over early in the night. And it just, to me, it was just a good opener. It's a good way. If you're on the fence about buying this pay-per-view, this was a good way to bring you into it. Next up, we have AQA versus Miranda Alizé. I thought this was going to be a better match. Alright, so 90% of this match was good. There's 10% of this match where there was an enziguri or a kick to the back of the head where AQA missed by a lot and Miranda still sold it. And there were a couple stiff shots by AQA, a little bit sloppy. AQA picked up the win. I thought the match was a little bit sloppy for my taste. Like I said, 90% of the match was good. 10% of it was a little too sloppy. I'm going to give this one a 2. Probably, if I'm being perfectly honest, my least favorite match of the night. Next up, we have Cheeseburger and Eli Isom. They're going up against a mystery team being brought there by Tully Blanchard. The mystery team is Gates of Agony, which is a really cool name. Almost sounds like a deathcore or a metalcore band. But yeah, it's a cool name for a group, and it's Khan and Toa Leona. I thought this was a good teaming. I don't know how far ahead they prepared this, because I'd like to see these guys wear matching gear here. I think that might be the only thing that I disliked about the presentation. This was basically Khan and Toa's a way to highlight them and show them as a new threat and a new team in Ring of Honor. Khan and Toa pick up the win here. I'm giving this match a 3. I thought it was solid, a great way, like I said, to highlight these two guys, to show that they're going to be parts of the future of Ring of Honor. And the last match, basically the main event of the pre-show, we get Dalton Castle versus Joe Hendry. I thought this was another really solid match. These guys had a good amount of time with each other in the ring. Castle and Hendry, they were a great tag team just a little bit ago. And this is kind of the feud match. I thought this was really solid. Dalton Castle's one of those guys that you kind of forget about how good he is, and Joe Hendry, same thing with Joe Hendry. They're so entertaining that you kind of almost forget how good of a wrestlers they are. Dalton picks up the win here, Dalton Castle. I'm giving this match a 4. Really solid pre-show. You know, like I said, if I was on the fence on buying this pay-per-view, this pre-show would have probably put me over. If I was at 50-50, it would have put me to buy it. I was buying it anyway. I was really intrigued to see some of the matches on this card, and I was really happy with the purchase, which we'll get into later. But anyway, that was for the pre-show. Jumping into the main event, the main show of the evening. First match of the night, Shane Swerve Strickland versus Alex Zane. This, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised because of the way they did this. They seemed to put all the championship matches at the end of the card. which is not how I would have thought they would have done this. I thought this would have had a more prominent placing on the card. I'm not saying it was a bad match. This was actually a really good match. Swerve has something that very few wrestlers in the world have, and I think Swerve is a guy that absolutely could be the ace of Ring of Honor, could be the ace of the AEW, the ace of all of wrestling. Alex Zane is really good as well. They put on a hell of a match to start the pay-per-view proper. Swerve picked up the win here. I'm giving this match a 5. I thought it was awesome from beginning to the end. I like both of these guys a whole lot. And again, they got the main card off on a really good start. Now coming from that, we get Ninja Mac versus another Tully Blanchard surprise for I think he said Tully Blanchard Enterprises was the name of his faction. And he brings out Brian Cage. So kind of shocking. Brian Cage has been off of our TV for a little while now. This again, much like the previous match with Khan and Toa, this was a highlight match for Brian Cage. Not saying that that's a bad thing. Ninja Mac's a guy, again, much like Blake Christian, that I like a lot. I like his GCW stuff. I think he does really well there. I've seen him a few times in AAA as well, which he stands out there too. Ninja Mac is someone that's going to be on the rise. Brian Cage picks up a pretty, I wouldn't say it was a squash, but a pretty dominant win. I'm giving this match a 3. Really solid. Again, the way to reintroduce Brian Cage. This would be a good place to put Brian Cage, because I don't think, and this is no knock on Brian Cage, there's too much of a logjam at the top of the card on AEW, whereas in Ring of Honor, he can challenge. They have more singles championships. They actually have 3 singles championships where AEW has 2. So he can challenge for the Pure title or the TV title or even the World title. And he could be a winner of either of those, or he could go for the 6-man title here. Again, another way to start off a new dominant heel faction. Thought it was a solid match. Next up, we have Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty. This was a really solid match as well. This was really good from beginning to end. Jay Lethal, Lee Moriarty, a lot of similarities between the two. I've seen where people say that Moriarty's ceiling is Jay Lethal. No knock on Jay Lethal, but I think Moriarty's ceiling is more Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson than Jay Lethal. Not a knock on Jay Lethal, but I think Moriarty, much like I said with Swerve, is one of those guys that just connects with a crowd. This is a good match. We've seen Lethal teasing on AEW that he had to make some changes. He goes for a low blow, which pretty much gets him the win here. Lethal picks up the win. I'm giving it a 4. Afterwards, we see Sanjay Dutt came out and kind of helped get Jay to the back, being that Sanjay's his best friend. A good solid match, some good character development. A good heel turn by Jay Lethal, a guy that hasn't been a heel for a little while. I think he's awesome when he's a heel. I loved his House of Truth stuff. So I really think he's going to do great and flourish in that role, whether he be on Ring of Honor or AEW. I think it's a better fit for him. Now coming up next, we start going into our championship matches. For the interim women's championship, which I don't know why they had to have an interim title match. They should have just had a number 1 contender match if they couldn't book Deonna Purrazzo, who was at an Impact show tonight. But I believe, if I'm hearing right, when I came to record this, because this is not too far after the show, I seem to have seen that the Briscoes were at Impact, so I don't know why. Maybe she couldn't have done double duty. Maybe she didn't want to. Maybe there was just a deal that couldn't be reached. I digress. For the interim women's championship, we get Mercedes Martinez versus Willow, or Willow Nightingale. They just call her Willow here, but I know her as Willow Nightingale. This was a solid match. It was definitely the better of the 2 women's matches of the night. I thought it was really good. Willow, again, another wrestler that's on the rise. Mercedes, a consummate professional. Mercedes picks up the win here. I'm giving this match a 3. I like to see where they're going to go with this. I'd like to see Mercedes versus Deonna somewhere down the line. And I'd like to see where they go with Willow, because I think she has a bright future. Now, coming from that, the match that most people that bought this card for, the match that everybody was looking forward to, for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, Jay and Mark the Briscoes versus Dax and Cash, FTR. And this match, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, by the way. This match is such a great match. This is probably, as of right now, this is my match of 2022. This match was so good. It is going to be so hard, and for at the time of this taping, neither night of WrestleMania has happened yet. It's going to be so hard for anything on either of the WrestleMania nights to match this. It's going to be hard for a lot of things to match this no matter what night on what show they're on. This was a fantastic match from beginning to end. The two teams lived up to the hype and more. This kind of was an old school, like, the Road Warriors versus the Brainbusters, or the Brainbusters versus the Midnight Express, or the Road Warriors versus the Midnight Express. This was just a great classic tag team match. FTR, to my surprise, I was a little bit shocked by this. FTR picked up the win here. And I know I say we grade everything on a 1 to 5 scale, and I've done this before, and I'll probably do it again. Don't take it so seriously. I know people get mad. But the 1 to 5 scale is based basically off of the Wrestling Observer, off of the Dave Meltzer 1 to 5 scale. If Meltzer could go beyond his 5, so can I. And I could go below my 5, just like he has. I'm giving this match a 6. I thought it was off the scale. Just a great match, a fantastic tag team match. If you haven't bought this, go buy Honor Club. I believe it's $10 a month. Buy it for a month. It is worth $10 just to see this match specifically. Afterwards, we get the Young Bucks attack the Briscoes. FTR run them off, challenge them to a match. The Young Bucks pretty much play the heels here, say they're too good for Ring of Honor, that they'll only do it on AEW Dynamite, which kind of weird, but okay, I get it. You know, you want to promote AEW on the show, the guy that owns both companies is running it. I mean, he has all the right in the world to do that. Next up, we have Rhett Titus versus Minoru Suzuki for the Ring of Honor TV Championship. There was a lot of talk about Minoru Suzuki not ever winning a world championship or any kind of championship in North America or in the United States. So I kind of think they foretold the outcome a little bit on that. This was a good match. I really enjoyed this. Coming off of the last match, it was going to be hard to follow that with anything, but they did really well here. Rhett Titus, I kind of feel bad because I think he deserved to have a longer run with the TV title, with as much as he's meant to the company, as long as he's been there. He's a Ring of Honor lifer, basically. He came up through their training system. He's been a multiple-time tag team champion, TV champion now. Minoru Suzuki picks up the win here. I'm going to give this a solid 4. I thought it was a really good match. Coming off of what we've seen before, again, I don't think you could have followed that with anything. Matter of fact, they should have probably put that as the main event. That was the match everybody was looking forward to. And Ring of Honor's put tag team title matches as the main events before, so there's precedent there. Now, coming from that, our championship run continues. We get Josh the Goods Woods versus Wheeler Yuta for the Pure Championship. They play it up on commentary like Yuta's already under the tutelage of William Regal, which I don't think they've officially said he's been on AEW as of yet. They've teased it. He's going to need to prove himself. Maybe this is how he proves himself to them. I was a little bit shocked with this as well. Wheeler Yuta picks up the win here for the new Pure Championship. Kind of weird and interesting. Afterwards, I seen on Twitter that Yuta finally actually was signed to AEW. He's only been on a per appearance thing up until now. Supposedly, that was, a lot of people have said. kind of weird that the route they're going with this. There's a lot of, FTR was a team that was already under contract. Mercedes, Wheeler Yuta, picking up championships here to go forward. I wonder if they couldn't come to deals with guys like Josh Woods or the Briscoe brothers to be in part of the new Ring of Honor. But I digress. Like I said, Yuta picks up the win. I'm giving the match a 4. Thought it was really solid. Now, coming from that, we get our main event of the evening. The interim world champion, Jonathan Gresham. I was thinking Josh Wood still. Versus Bandito. Bandito has Chavo Guerrero in his corner. This was an awesome match. I thought this was really good. These two guys wrestle so well together. Jonathan Gresham's an absolute machine. Bandito is incredibly strong. At one point, he holds Jonathan Gresham in a vertical suplex for over a minute while the crowd counts. This was just awesome. It was a great match. We get towards the end, and Chavo Guerrero does a couple underhanded things, and I think this is the first time I've ever seen it. I can't remember ever seeing it before. Bandito asks the ref to kick out Chavo because Chavo was cheating, and he wants to be honorable, which is definitely different. It's not something that I've ever seen. It's not a trope I've ever seen in wrestling, but it made the match that more special because it's something you've never seen before. This was a really solid match. Gresham picks up the win here. I thought it was really good. I'm giving the match a 5. Afterwards, we get Jay Lethal coming down to challenge Jonathan Gresham for the title. Gresham basically says no. Lethal attacks him, which brings out Sanjay Dutt, who then attacks as well after pretending to walk Lethal off, which brings out Lee Moriarty, who they start beating him up as well. And then they bring out the surprise of the evening. Not that there haven't been a couple other surprises, but the huge surprise of the evening. Returning to Ring of Honor, one of the Ring of Honor stalwarts. If you made a Mount Rushmore for Ring of Honor, this guy would be one of the faces, definitely 100% on there, Samoa Joe. And Joe comes out and cleans house, chokes Dutt and Lethal. They play up, and this is awesome for long-time Ring of Honor fans, because Jay Lethal, in the beginning of his Ring of Honor career, he was with Special K as Hydro, and then Samoa Joe took him under his wing to kind of make him into the Jay Lethal we see now. So they kind of play up that factor, and then Jay Lethal's a little bit apprehensive about mixing it up with Samoa Joe. Great way to go off the air. Huge surprise that I don't think a lot of people seen coming. This was just awesome. Like I said, I'm giving the match a 5, Gresham winning it. As far as the show, Supercard of Honor altogether, I'm giving it a 5 all the way. Lots of great matches. Kind of see where they're going with Ring of Honor. It kind of feels like it's going to be a B show for AEW. And I'm okay with that. I'm not mad at it because it still has a lot of the Ring of Honor flavor. This felt like a Ring of Honor show. It didn't feel like an AEW show. Even though there was a lot of AEW talent on here, a lot of these guys, Lee Moriarty's been in Ring of Honor before. Jay Lethal, he's a stalwart of Ring of Honor. Minoru Suzuki's done work in Ring of Honor. Wheeler Yuta's been in Ring of Honor. So a lot of the people that were even being borrowed from AEW for this show had already worked for Ring of Honor before. So it did still have a Ring of Honor feel to it. I'm very excited to see where they go from here because this was a very quality show. This definitely held up to the Ring of Honor name. And to me, that's a lot because Ring of Honor means a lot to me. So that's high praise. I seen there was some backlash about AEW people winning, but I can't really hate what they did here. I thought it was good. But anyway, with that being said, please smash the like button, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't. And if you watch this far, I know you like what we're doing here. Give me a 15 in the comments for Supercard of Honor 15. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been my review of Supercard of Honor.